The Remote Access Room explores how museums are extending into digital platforms online through the usage of computational forms of imaging technology. The project features content from Google's Arts and Culture app, specifically Museum Street View. Screen recordings of engagement with the gallery through this platform constitute the central display of this exhibit. This focal point is designed to signal that relationships extend beyond the museum as an institution, encompassing collaborations with major corporate entities. The gallery examines the contrast between different forms of digital imaging emerging from the visitor's usage of mobile technology within the structures of institutional governance. This engagement examines how usage of mobile devices is changing understanding of cultural artifacts, both inside and outside the museum. A dominant focus of the space is on the use of augmented reality. This new imaging process is viewed as a type of collage, in which 3D scans are superimposed onto live video. However, in the context of the MoCIA, this approach also responds to the growing significance of computational forms of 3D image in discussions of restitution, especially in exchanges between Western museum collections and other invested parties.
Digitized collections and archives often involve complex legal governance, comparable to the contentiousness of physical objects in museums. This is particularly because these digital assets are increasingly subject to debates about repatriation and conditions of access. Digitized objects, particularly those created from circumstances marked by violent and extractive methods, raise important questions about ethics, ownership, representation, and governance. A concern that scholar Deidre Brown raises is that Indigenous peoples are concerned that culturally significant aspects of their heritage have often been appropriated or made into commodities or used in inappropriate ways. This issue is potentially exacerbated when artifacts are further decontextualized in the juxtapositions of space and time created through AR technology. These sets of relations are made more complex by the assemblage of infrastructural elements and corporate governance embedded in processes of computation, as these factors are relationally and indelibly linked to the creation of digital artifacts. The room explores the potential of AR in the alteration of the museum space as an experience, but also in the ways that collections can be framed in circumstances outside of the context of the institution. The experiments presented in the gallery complicate rhetoric surrounding new forms of imaging technology. It addresses the extractive nature of this technology, where the contrast between an object's life world and its representation can also lead to problematic instances of cultural appropriation. The space is segmented into various sections, each exploring different iterations of the museum through the presentation of post-photographic images through AR technology. Throughout the space, different practice-based experiments are presented in the form of short screen recordings from mobile apps. Scans are displayed in relation to public spaces outside the museum through various forms of juxtaposition, as well as within the museum itself. In the museum, the process of research is twofold. The AR technology is used to superimpose 3D scans over artifacts on display. Also explored are the new functions of 3D video capture through LiDAR imaging, which possess an ephemeral quality when viewed in AR. The gallery focuses on specific sites in London. Many of these are associated with the context of European imperial expansion of the 19th century, but also share characteristics with the problematic universality claimed by large Western museums. Notably, the gallery includes the Royal Botanic Gardens at Kew, which opened to the public in 1840, and the London Zoological Society, which opened in 1828. These sites are used to compare how artifacts from the British Museum, much like plants and animals in botanical gardens and zoos, are connected to collection, categorization, and display, and are tied to the imperial legacies of discovery. These sites are further contrasted with the context of frieze masters. According to the art fair's rhetoric, the event offers a unique contemporary perspective on thousands of years of art history, from collectible objects to significant masterpieces from the ancient era and old masters to the late 20th century. This remit reflects the function of the universal museum space. However, it also pertains to the broader context of value and worth related to finance. This positioning is further contrasted with a domestic space in a North London suburb during lockdown, where the museum is shut and accessed institutionally via remote functions. The extractive violence of disconnecting times, people, and places is explored through remote access technology and post-photographic visualization. These implications are inherent in the act of looking and are intertwined with the institution's promise to bring the museum and its objects into intimate interaction with the visitor.